we talk a lot about Anthony Richardson. We do. And there's a lot of hope around Anthony Richardson. And if he's good, people are going to get excited and it's going to be great. But I got to be honest. Like, I don't feel like it matters. It doesn't matter if Anthony Richardson's good. It doesn't matter if he's terrible. It doesn't. Because at the end of the day, the Colts are playing in the AFC. They are, where there are a million good quarterbacks. Okay, like the amount of quarterback depth in the AFC is so much deeper than the NFC. Okay, like if you were to do the 5 best quarterbacks in the NFC, I think everyone would put Matthew Stafford 1. And then there's a large gap between whoever number 2 is. And there's a real world where number 2 is someone like Jordan Love. Okay, who played 9 good games last year. And then you get to like Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott and a bunch of guys that, like, if they're your starting quarterback, you're like, that's cool. But you're not like over the moon excited about. Then you look at the AFC and it's Patrick Mahomes and then Josh Allen and then Joe Burrow and then Lamar Jackson and then Justin Herbert and CJ Stroud looked really good last year. I mean, there's just a long list of really good, 2 great quarterbacks in the AFC. And I'm sitting back and I'm listening and I'm watching Colts fans overreact to Anthony Richardson throwing the ball at these training camp practices. And look, I'm a big, there's really only one winner at the end of the year kind of guy. It's like, look, only one team wins the Super Bowl and everyone else goes home disappointed. Okay, every team, theoretically, has one goal, and only one team is going to do that. And when I sit back and I look at the NFL and just the history of it, and I know this and you know this as well, whoever has the best quarterback has the greatest chance to win the Super Bowl. Okay, you can construct the best roster in the world. Okay, you can. The 49ers have done it for the past 3 years. They've put together just incredible rosters, and part of it has been they've had some bad injury luck. It's part of why they haven't gotten over the hump. But the other part of it is they've had to play Patrick Mahomes twice. Okay, and I sit back and I look at the Colts and I'm like, does it really matter if Anthony Richardson is good or not? Because chances are he's not going to be better than Patrick Mahomes. And if you're not better than Patrick Mahomes, then you aren't coming out of the AFC. You aren't. It's not going to happen unless Mahomes or someone important for the Chiefs gets hurt. Here's this insane stat that I saw yesterday on Twitter. This is from Neil Payne. He writes a Substack. It's called Neil's Substack. If you want to check it out, here's the stat. Since 2001, there have been 125 drives in the NFL postseason where it was at least the fourth quarter. There was under a minute left to play, and the team on offense trailed by 7 points or fewer at the start. These are your standard clutch moments for a football team, the do-or-die drives that win and lose critical games. Out of those 125 drives, only 40% of them saw the team on offense pull off the magic trick and get the points that they needed. Some quarterbacks are pretty good at it, such as Tom Brady, who went 5 for 11. That's 46%. Or Drew Brees, who went 3 for 6. Hey, that's 50%. That's pretty good. Only Patrick Mahomes, though, is 7 for 7, or perfect, in other words, 100%, in those dire situations. The playoffs are all about winning close games in any sport. Okay, basketball, like once you get to the second round, a lot of your games are going to be close, going down to the wire. Once you reach the conference finals, then most definitely, those games are coming down to the wire. And the question is, do you have the guy to kind of get you over the hump? Okay, we saw this with the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. They couldn't get it done late. Part of it was Halliburton got hurt, sure, but the other part of it was Celtics were pretty darn good. Okay, and we see this again and again and again in the NFL. Close playoff games where, this team has the ball last. They're down by 4. They need a touchdown. They have 1 minute and 39 seconds. Can they go score? And a lot of times the answer is no, unless you're playing against, of course, Patrick Mahomes. So I know that there's a lot of hope around Anthony Richardson. I hope that Anthony Richardson's good. I hope that this Colts team can figure out a way to make the playoffs. I hope that this Colts team can figure out a way to win the division and all those things. But the reality of it is even if everyone's right and Anthony Richardson makes this incredible leap and he looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL and all these things, even if all of that happens, there's a part of me that's like, is it really even going to matter? Because what are the realistic chances that that Anthony Richardson winds up surpassing Patrick Mahomes as the best quarterback in the NFL, right? Because when the Colts, the only reason why the Colts were able to win a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning is because, during that time, he was the best quarterback in the NFL that year. He was awesome that year. Okay, and then, they were able to make it back, I believe, the following year, right? They lose to the Saints, and, the onside kick, to open the second half from Sean Payton was amazing and all those things. But, you have to have a certified dude at the quarterback position. And if you don't, then you're not winning playoff games. You just aren't. So, yeah, that's my spiel. It's like, are we going to do all this hyping up of Anthony Richardson and get our hopes up just to potentially make the playoffs and then get our hearts stomped out by Patrick Mahomes doing just super incredible things? Right? Because that's what he does. He just does these super amazing, incredible things really every time that he steps out onto the field. And it's to a point where, you watch this team play and you're like, we have the Chiefs on our schedule. That's a loss because it's going to be close coming down to the wire, and Mahomes is going to figure out a way to pull it out because that's just what he's done for his entire career. So maybe Anthony Richardson meets our expectations. Maybe he even exceeds our expectations. Right? Maybe he winds up, being amazing this year. That'd be great. But the chances are he's not going to be better than Patrick Mahomes, which means that we're heading towards, just getting our hearts broken by arguably the best quarterback we've ever seen play in the NFL.